Hello, this is Father Jamie. I hope y'all are having a lovely day. I'm making this video for the third grade classes at Owensboro Catholic, and I won't be able to visit you all since I will be having my day off, but you all had asked if you could hear about my vocation story and vocations in general, so I thought, well, I don't have anything about that on my YouTube channel, so this would be a good way to still be present to you all and have this on my channel. So pretty much to start off with, a lot of you may know that I love trains. And so when I first started thinking about what I wanted to be when I grew up, I loved trains, so I wanted to work for the railroad. And I started losing my sight, so I knew that I couldn't legally work for the railroad as an engineer. You don't want a blind person driving trains through Owensboro. So, but I still was a member of the Kentucky Railway Museum. And so, trains have always been important to me. And the railroad and I had talked, and they said, if you go to school and get a business degree, you could work in the offices someday. So that was my goal. That was my first vocation, so I thought. So I'm going to show you a couple of pictures of trains that I've been on. And I'm going to show you my train room where I'm standing at the moment. Now, I apologize. My train room is a disaster right now. I've been taking up my tracks because I'm moving all these trains to a new building. So I'm just showing you some of my collection of trains as they are scattered around without tracks to run on. Y'all will get to see my new train station hopefully in a few months when it's finished. And I'm going to set up all my trains there. So this collection has grown over the years and is a great testimony to my love of trains and railroading. And there's all kinds of trains lined up on my shelves, and old ones, new ones, all kinds. We got trains going on in here. Here I am in the cab of my Santa Fe at the train museum. This was when I was, how old, Mom?
6, I think.
Somewhere in there? Okay. Here I am in the University of Kentucky Wildcat locomotive in 1994 when I was in 4th grade. So basically, what happened, I went to college to get a business degree at Brescia University so I could work in the railroad offices. And while I was there, I started praying at night. I would go to the chapel late at night because the dorms where I lived at were kind of noisy, and so I would go in there until quiet hours because people would play their music really loud and all that stuff. And I decided when I started at Brescia that I wanted to learn more about my faith because we lived pretty far away from a church where I was born and raised at in Caneyville. So when I was starting at Brescia, I was able to walk to Mass every day. And I thought, since I'm able to go to Mass by myself, I'm just going to go every day, and that's how I'm going to learn about my faith. And so that's where it happened. I started going to pray, and I fell in love with the Lord. But I made all these excuses why I couldn't be a priest. I wanted to get married, have kids, work for the railroad, maybe teach Sunday school on the side. So one of the excuses I made why I couldn't be a priest was I can't handle death and dying and doing funerals and all that. And one of my cousins was dying with cancer, and I was with her a lot. And when she died, my family asked for me to speak at the end of her funeral mass. And I was scared to death. I didn't think I was able to do that. But I went to the college president, Father Larry, and he told me, he said, Jamie, it's not about what you say, it's just about you being there. And he said, by the way, Bishop John and I think you should go to seminary and be a priest. And there was another priest not long before that who had come up to me, Father Joe Merkt, and he said, Jamie, I think you should be a priest. And so I made it through that funeral. I'm glad that I did that, was present to my family, and that's finally when I realized, hey, God is calling me to be a priest. So for some people, they know from the time they're little. I didn't know until college age. So everybody's journey is different, and God calls in different ways. And God uses things in our lives for a reason. So my love of trains When I was doing my internship at Brescia before I graduated and started seminary, my pastor at that time, Father Randy Howard, he asked me, he said, "Why do you love trains so much?" And I said, "Well, something about that power and that responsibility," because I'd driven a few trains under supervision, and I said, "There's just something about that power and knowing you're responsible for people and everything behind you." And he said, "Well, just imagine someday the power of Christ working through you at the altar someday when you're invoking Christ and changing the bread and wine into his body and blood." And it's like, wow, that's why God had me to love trains so much, to use that to show me that he's got a bigger plan for me. But I'm a priest now, and I'm also still in love with trains, as you can tell in my train room, and I still drive trains to this day. I have my own train on my farm. So that's basically my vocation story. So don't be afraid to answer God's call. All right, y'all. I'm back with you again. And yeah, I'm a priest, but I'm still a train engineer too. And my dog Bernadette tonight, and I'm sorry it's dark, you probably can't see her. My dog Bernadette is here in the cab of my train with me, and we're going to go for a little train trip. And we'll take y'all with us. All aboard. Down the track we go. We're going down the track. I just got the engine by itself. I don't have my passenger car behind me. So anyway, we're going for a train ride. We'll catch up with y'all later. Have a blessed day.